You know when you see someone driving a really flashy car or wearing designer clothes, and you just think, wow, they must be rich? Well, what if I told you that looking rich and being rich are often two completely different things? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on what it really takes to build wealth. So here's the game plan. First, we're going to expose the whole big hat, no cattle illusion. People who look wealthy but really aren't. Then we'll dive into the two mindsets that separate the spenders from the actual savers. After that, we get to the really good stuff. The automated engine you can build, the magic ingredient that makes your money grow, and a super clever trick to do it all without giving up your life. And then we'll wrap it all up with a simple takeaway you can use like today.
Okay, first up, let's talk appearances. Because when it comes to money, what you see is almost never what you get. There's this amazing phrase from the book The Millionaire Next Door, big hat, no cattle. It just perfectly describes that person who looks the part, right? They've got the expensive hat, the fancy car, they're always buying the latest and greatest stuff, but in reality, there's nothing backing it up. No assets, their net worth is tiny, they're probably super stressed about money, and they're just living paycheck to paycheck, but with way more expensive things. So, if that's the myth, then what's the reality? Well, it turns out most people fall into one of two camps when it comes to building wealth. Let's break them down. First, you've got the under-accumulators of wealth, or UAWs for short. Now, these are often people who make great money, think doctors, lawyers, but have a surprisingly low net worth for their income. Why? Because their whole focus is on consumption, on looking the part, on displaying high social status. Their motto is basically, spend tomorrow's cash today. And on the flip side, you have the prodigious accumulators of wealth, the PAWs. These are the people who are quietly, methodically building real wealth. They might not look flashy at all, but their net worth is way, way above average for their income. Their motto? Save today's cash for tomorrow. Their goal isn't social status, it's true financial freedom. So when researchers actually studied real millionaires, they found they all had some pretty surprising things in common. I mean, look at the top of this list. They live below their means. They value financial independence over looking cool. This isn't about getting lucky or inheriting a bunch of money. It's got a very specific, disciplined mindset. They're playing a completely different game than everyone else. So how do you actually become one of these prodigious accumulators? Well, it all boils down to one core strategy: building an automatic engine that does all the heavy lifting for you. Let's be real for a second. Relying on sheer willpower to save money after all your bills are paid and you've lived your life for the month, it's a losing battle for most of us. Life happens, right? And that leftover money just kind of vanishes. The real key, the secret, is to take willpower completely out of the equation. And the way you do that is with automation. And setting this up is ridiculously simple. It's called Pay Yourself First. All you do is arrange for a slice of your paycheck to go directly into a savings account. Or if you can't do that, just set up an automatic transfer from your checking to your savings on every single payday. That's it. The money gets tucked away before you even see it, before you can get tempted to spend it on something else. This one simple move puts your success on autopilot. And just by doing this, you make your savings a non-negotiable priority. It's just like your rent or your mortgage. It's no longer an afterthought. It becomes the very first and maybe the most important bill you pay every single month. You're literally building wealth by habit, not by chance. Okay, so you've built your savings engine. Awesome. But what fuels it? What gives it that incredible, almost magical power over time? Well, it's a force that Albert Einstein himself supposedly called the eighth wonder of the world: compound interest. Listen, when one of the wealthiest people in the history of the world, Warren Buffett, says that compound interest is a key ingredient to his success, you should probably pay attention. It's the process where your investments start earning their own returns. It's kind of slow at first, but believe me, over time, it becomes this absolutely unstoppable force. Let's just see how this plays out. Imagine you make a single investment, just $5,000. You leave it alone for 30 years and it grows to over $22,000. That's pretty good, right? But just wait, because after 50 years, the growth just goes nuts. It becomes exponential. That same $5,000 explodes into $50,000. This just perfectly illustrates the single most important factor in investing: time. The earlier you start, the more powerful that compounding effect becomes. It's huge.
Now, at this point, you might be thinking, okay, this all sounds great, but does it mean I have to live like a total hermit for the next 50 years? And the answer to that is a huge, resounding no. This is the big hangup, isn't it? The fear that building wealth means you can't enjoy your life today, that you have to pinch every penny, say no to everything, and become that person that nobody wants to hang out with. But there's a much, much smarter way to do it. It's called stealth frugality, and it's basically the art of living well below your means without anyone even noticing. It is not about being cheap, it is about being strategic. You are ruthless about cutting spending on things you don't really care about, so you have plenty of money for your savings engine and a few selective splurges that actually improve your life or your career. This is how a paw enjoys the journey. So what does this actually look like in real life? Well, for your closet, maybe you invest in a couple of high-quality token items for really important meetings, but your day-to-day clothes are affordable. For your car, instead of a brand new economy car, you buy a 3-year-old luxury model for the same price. It gives off a signal of success without that crazy UAW price tag. You definitely don't skip the networking lunch with your boss, but you host friends for dinner at your place instead of going to some overpriced bar. You see, it's about being penny-wise and pound-smart. So, we've busted the myths, we've looked at the real habits of real millionaires, and we've laid out a practical, totally sustainable strategy. Let's bring it all home. So this is it. This is your roadmap. It all starts by realizing it's not about how big your paycheck is, it's about how much of it you keep. It's about making a conscious choice to be a paw, building real assets instead of a UAW, just burning through your income. You build that engine with pay yourself first, you let compounding do all the heavy lifting for you, and you use stealth frugality to make the whole journey sustainable and, yes, even enjoyable. And that's really how it's done. The difference between looking rich and actually being rich isn't some giant leap. It's just a series of small, consistent choices. So I'll leave you with this question. What's one small under-accumulator habit you have right now that you can change starting today?